Play. It's a busy day on the island of Sodor. Let's visit one of the engines. Choose the engine that is feeling excited. Yes, it's Percy. Percy is excited at the chance to make new friends with two squirrels that he sees on a tree stump. When Percy rushes up to talk with the squirrels, they're scared and run away. How does Percy feel after the squirrels run away? Percy is not. Percy is not. Yes! Percy is sad after the squirrels run away. Later that day, Percy is excited when he decides to make his mail delivery run on the express track. Gordon derails when he's forced to swerve into a siding to avoid Percy. How does Percy feel after he causes Gordon to derail? Percy is not. Yes! Percy is embarrassed after he causes Gordon to derail. Later on Dowager Hat's birthday, Percy is sad when all of the other engines are given important jobs. Sir Topham Hatt sends Percy on the most important special of all, to pick up a big present at Brendam Docks. How does Percy feel after Sir Topham Hatt? That's right! Percy feels very happy after Sir Topham Hatt sent him on the most important special of all. A lot has happened today. Now it's time for Percy to go to sleep. Good night, Percy. It's another busy day on the island of Sodor. Let's see how one of the engines is doing today. Which engine is feeling Gordon is feeling. Toby is. Yes, it's Thomas. Thomas is excited that there will be a party for his friend Hero, who is making a return visit to Sodor. Thomas forgets to invite the other engines to Hero's party because he's too busy looking for a present. How does Thomas feel after he forgets to invite the other engines to Hero's? Thomas is. Yes! Thomas is embarrassed after he forgets to invite the other engines to Hero's party. Later on, Thomas is worried when the giant balloon that he's taking to the fair for Mr. Bubbles floats away. Thomas delivers a new giant balloon just in time for Mr. Bubbles' show. How does Thomas feel after he delivers a new... Yes! Thomas feels very happy after he delivers a new giant balloon just in time for Mr. Bubbles' show. Later that day, Thomas is feeling sad. Charlie tells him a joke. How does Thomas feel after Charlie tells him a joke? Sad. Thomas is not. Yes! Thomas feels happy after Charlie tells him a joke. A lot has happened today. Now it's time for Thomas to go to sleep. Good night, Thomas. Play again. It's another busy day on the island of Sodor. Let's visit one of the engines. Which engine is feeling happy? That's right. It's Gordon. Gordon is proud to be given the special to move the Lion of Sodor to the Duke and Duchess's summer house. Sir Topham Hatt asks Gordon to share the special with Ferdinand, who is being rewarded for being really useful. How does Gordon feel after Sir Topham Hatt asks him to share the special? Gordon is not very. Gordon. That's right. Gordon feels angry after Sir Topham Hatt asks him to share the special with Ferdinand. Later on, Gordon is embarrassed that the waste dump has become a mess while he is in charge. Scruff helps Gordon clear the tracks and make the waste dump neat and tidy again. How does Gordon feel after Scruff helps him make the waste? Gordon is not. Yes! Gordon feels happy after Scruff helps him make the waste dump neat and tidy again. Sometime later, Gordon is unhappy because his boiler is broken and he can't be really useful. Victor moves Gordon to the front of the repair line so that he can be fixed quickly. How does Gordon feel after Victor moves him? Yes! Gordon feels very happy after Victor moves him to the front of the repair line. It's the end of a long day. And good night, Gordon. Play again. It's another busy day on the island of Sodor. Let's see how one of the engines is doing today. Choose the engine that is feeling worried. Thomas is... Yes, it's James. James is worried about getting his delivery wet as he looks at a puddle on the tracks. Thomas races through the puddle and splashes James, ruining his delivery of strawberries. How does James feel after Thomas races through the... James is not. That's right! James is angry after Thomas races through the puddle and splashes him. Sometime later, James is unhappy that he's covered in mud. Flynn uses his water cannons to wash the mud from James. How does James feel after Flynn uses... Yes! James feels very happy after Flynn uses his water cannons to wash the mud from James. Sometime later, James is happy that he's taking a load of children to the picnic. A cork pops out of a lemonade bottle on Thomas's passing special and hits James. How does James feel after a cork from a lemonade... James. That's right! James is surprised after a cork from a lemonade bottle hits him. A lot has happened today. Now it's time for Good Night, James. Play. It's another busy day on the island of Sodor. Let's see how one of the engines is doing today. Choose the engine that is feeling... Emily is feeling... Yes, it's Toby. Toby is happily enjoying the quiet corner of Sodor Island. Belle suddenly arrives, ringing her bell and spraying water from her cannons up into the air. How does Toby feel after Belle suddenly arrives? Toby is not very... Yes! Toby feels surprised after Belle suddenly arrives, ringing her bell and spraying water. Later that day, Toby is embarrassed when he is fitted with a loud whistle while his bell is being repaired. When the tracks are blocked by a fallen tree, Toby blows his new whistle to warn Gordon to stop. How does Toby feel after he is able to warn Gordon about the block? Toby is... Yes! Toby feels very happy after he is able to warn Gordon about the blocked tracks using his new whistle. Later on, Toby is worried about going through the scary whistling woods. James and Thomas offer to go with him to keep him company. How does Toby feel after James and Thomas... Yes! Toby feels happy after James and Thomas offer to go with him to keep him company. A lot has happened today. Now it's time for Toby to go to sleep. Good night, Toby. Play again. It's another busy day on the island of Sodor. Let's visit one of the engines. Choose the engine that is feeling... Percy. Edward. Yes, it's Henry. Henry is excited that a photographer is about to take a special picture of him for a book about the engines of Sodor. Suddenly, Thomas races up so that he is in Henry's picture too. How does Henry feel after Thomas races up to be in... Henry is... That's right! Henry feels surprised after Thomas races up to be in Henry's picture. Later that day, Henry is excited when Sir Topham Hatt asks him to collect an important visitor from Brendam Docks. During Henry's run, Ari and Bert tease him about being the only engine that needs a special type of coal. How does Henry feel after Ari and Bert... Henry is not... Yes! Henry is embarrassed after Ari and Bert tease him about being the only engine that needs a special type of coal. Later that day, Henry is sad when he scares away the Sodor warbler, a special bird that visitors have come to see. The visitors are happy to see the bird riding on Henry's buffer later when he goes to pick them up. How does Henry feel after the Yes! Henry is happy after the visitors are happy to see the Sodor warbler riding on his buffer. It's the end of a long day, and Henry has been really useful. Good night, Henry. Play. It's another busy day on the island of Sodor. Let's see how one of the engines is doing today. Which engine is feeling surprised? That's right. It's Edward. Edward is surprised to see that Sir Topham Hatt has a moustache and wants to play hide and seek with the children. Later, Edward learns that the man with the moustache is Sir Loam Hatt, Sir Topham Hatt's brother, who's come for a visit. How does Edward feel after Edward learns? Yes! Edward is happy after Edward learns that the man with the moustache is Sir Topham Hatt's brother. Later that day, Edward is happy that he's been given a special by Sir Topham Hatt. Later, when Edward chooses to complete his special rather than play with Charlie, Charlie says that Edward is too old to be a fun engine. How does Edward feel after Charlie says that Edward is too old? Yes! Edward is sad after Charlie says that Edward is too old to be a fun engine. Sometime later, Edward is worried that he doesn't know how to be a hero and thinks that he must be strong, fast and stern, like Gordon. Sir Topham Hatt tells Edward that being kind, gentle and funny is what makes him a hero. How does Edward feel after Sir Topham Hatt tells... Yes! Edward is very happy after Sir Topham Hatt tells him that being kind, gentle and funny is what makes him a hero. It's the end of a long day, and Edward has been really useful. Now it's time for Edward to go to sleep. Click. Good night, Edward.